Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the FBFC podcast. Another jam-packed week of football this weekend. And Kieran, Arsenal won a game and you're
Yes.
back on the pod this week.
Finally, a win. Every single week so far has been a loss, but I'm on the back of a win and we're feeling a little bit better, even though I still think we're bowled the title. But yeah, good week for Arsenal to get over the line, especially against a Newcastle team who the games are always a bit iffy. They're always a bit physical. I don't know what it is. I feel like Newcastle are always up for playing us, but we'll get into that a little bit more later on.
Rich, it's been a couple of weeks. You're back on. How have Barnsley been? I can't say I've been keeping up with results.
Yeah, you don't need to. Sack the manager. We're in turmoil. We're definitely in League One next season. Whether we'll be in League One this time next year, we might be on a slippery slope down the leagues. But no, all doing good here, and I'm excited to talk all things football because everything's still to play for in the Premier League.
Well, we'll get into Premier League in a bit. There was FA Cup action this weekend that we'll start with. I can't say I watched the Chelsea game. It didn't strike me as an exciting game to watch. Did any of you two watch Chelsea?
I did.
Right. Well, you two take this one. Fill me on how boring of a game I missed.
I mean, obviously, a managerless Chelsea.
Yeah.
Went into it. That was sort of the big news of the week, really, with Chelsea. Manager got sacked, or left, whatever you want to call it. Got paid off very well from reports that I'm seeing for his short stint.
Just a casual 24 million is what I saw reported.
I don't think he'll get that though, will he?
I think there was a break clause in there somewhere. I don't think he'll get the full 24, but I'm sure it'll be a nice amount anyway.
I'll be happy for a few grand for a couple of months' work that he did. So I'm sure he's not too sad about it.
I mean, with the game itself, Leeds were quite poor first half. Chelsea got that goal. Enzo Fernandez scored it. He's been talking a lot. They gave him the armband, and it was the only goal of the game. Second half, Leeds made a couple of changes at half time. They brought on Stack, who I think is a real player. I really like the look of Antoine Stack. He created a little bit for them, but they never really created anything clear cut. Robert Sanchez played quite well in goal.
Thanks,
Chelsea defended okay, but they make an FA Cup final. Congratulations. I think they were saying there's four interim managers that have made FA Cup finals with Chelsea. I don't know if that shows how good the interims have been or how turmoil and turbulent Chelsea are. But they just got over the line in the end, but it wasn't an FA Cup semi-final to remember, really.
It's you probably said you didn't see anything in that game that convinces you that Man City are not going to dominate them in the final. Well, it is an FA Cup final, so I don't think it'll be one of them where Man City put 5 on them.
Yeah.
But I think Man City will score within the first 30 minutes and game's over. They'll just sit.
The last time Chelsea beat Man City, Champions League final.
Kai Havertz goal.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one.
King Kai.
I think they also beat us that year in the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah. So I think they said that's the last time Chelsea beat City.
Yeah.
Was that Champions League final. So maybe. But, I mean, Man City, they will be favourites. I think heavy favourites going into that game.
Yeah,
I just can't see another result.
It gets to this point of the season, and every year I kind of feel like, all right, this is where City are going to start kicking on. They're going to win every game. This year I've been a little bit unsure about that. But I think the Southampton game kind of proved that, and we were all over them. They sat with as I would expect them to do. They sat with everyone behind the ball. You're a championship team playing against the best team in the country. You're not going to beat us in terms of if you're attacking, we're attacking. Then you're going to get beat. But they sat with everyone behind the ball. Scored actually a really nice goal on the counter.
Oh, great goal.
I think probably. I mean, I say goal of the game.
It was.
I'll give them that. And at that point, I'm kind of thinking, we've put everything at them. They've blocked everything. The keeper saved everything. And then luckily, Docky changed the game and got a deflected goal. And I think at that point, I kind of thought, we need something similar to that. We're not going to score kind of passing through them and trying to create. And I think that's what we're trying to do. Every time we came down the right, Nunes and Savinho trying to do every pass perfect. I'm like, they've got 11 men in the box. That's not going to quite work. And then, Nico Gonzalez I've been saying he should play over Rodri. Not over Rodri, but while Rodri's injured. I think we started against Burnley with O'Reilly in that holding midfield and Aït-Nouri at left back. Really didn't work. As soon as you take Aït-Nouri off and put Nico in the middle, it seems to work a lot better. But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting final. Games surrounding that now are going to be, I think that run of fixtures for us, we tried to get them switched around.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know what
they just want everything. Ooh, I need everything handed to me. Move my fixtures, please. We've got a title challenge to do. Get out.
I don't know why I don't know what's the big fuss about having them either way. Like, is it?
It would have been 3 games in a week.
I think it is anyway. It's just whether
a day later.
I think it was because Bournemouth also. If we played Bournemouth first, they come off 10 days rest.
Yeah.
Whereas if we played them the week after,
my just on the FA Cup semi-final, my big takeaways from that City game, I had 2 really when I was watching it. One, Southampton are going to fly up. They will win the playoffs. Yeah. They're a real good side.
Really good.
Found out they are hardware that with Arsenal. There's some good players in that team.
Were they 20 unbeaten coming into it?
Going into that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it took a fantastic strike from Gonzalez to break that streak. The second thing, Phil Foden, there's got to be big questions there. He got pulled off before 60 minutes. He looked really distraught when he came off. I think John Stones, there were a conversation where he said, like, keep your chin up, keep your head up. Is Phil Foden a Man City player when we start the Premier League season next year? Because the chances are he's not going to the World Cup. He's not getting in the team. He's clearly not favoured. Is it Phil Foden stays at the club and Guardiola leaves? Or Guardiola stays for another season and Foden leaves? Because Foden's not getting in that team.
Before Dan answers, because we'll let the Man City fan answer this. When you were talking, I've had the same thought. I think, and I don't think this will happen, right? But I do think the best thing Foden could do right now is go on loan somewhere to a team where he's going to be the man, where he is undoubtedly the man. So there's no confidence issues. He knows every single week he's playing.
Everton. He went to Everton, and until he got injured, he was the guy. Everything went through Grealish. And at that moment, people were going, he's playing off the left for England. He's starting off the left. He's going to play every game. Foden looks shocked at confidence. He looks really, really... I mean, I think it's a championship team, and he didn't get in the game.
What's going to kill his career is his affiliation to Man City in a way. Yeah. That, you know, the thing that, like, he is a Man City guy. Like, he's probably... I mean, Dan, feel free to correct me here. He is like Man City's first, like, self-produced good player. Like, I'm not going to say star player because I don't think he's reached that yet. I think he's a very, very good player with talent.
There was a season or two where he was like,
he won't play with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I can't believe we're having a conversation where we're talking about loaning Phil Foden to someone like Everton.
I want to point out, I said loan. I didn't say to Everton, but I do think he needs to go to... I say loan on purpose because I don't think he's going to leave. He loves, clearly Man City is his club and he wants to be there, which is probably why he's, not going to say happy with sitting on the bench, but he'd rather maybe sit on the bench than be playing every week for Aston Villa. No disrespect to Villa. But I don't want to use this example because it's the most boring one. Go to Dortmund for a year. I think the problem...
Just look at Rashford at Man United. Rashford is Manchester United. He was Man United through and through. Mancunian, helped in the community. He weren't getting in the team. He went somewhere else, and now he's not playing loads for Barcelona. But when he is playing, he's impacting games, and he's probably played himself back into a World Cup squad. And I think when we did our World Cup squad, when we ran through it, he was starting for a lot of us off that left hand side. Phil Foden doesn't get in the World Cup squad, and that is the biggest statement that you can have on this. In a 26-man England team, Phil Foden's not in a lot of people's squad.
Yeah, I think there must be something going on kind of off the pitch, like mentally with him, because he's just not I know how good Foden is, and it's just I can't. It's not suddenly he's forgot how to play football. Like 2 years ago, he was winning the Premier League for us, and everything was going for him in that midfield. And it's not just a case of, oh, Shirky's coming in the team, Shirky's better, his head's gone. I do think there's something a little bit more, and that's why I don't think he'll go. Like I think it's whatever is happening off the pitch, it'll go wherever he moves anyway. I think Pep. I don't think it's like him and Pep aren't working. I think Pep loves him. I think
But he don't get on the pitch. He's not in your starting 11. If you were to play now, last game of the season, Aston Villa must-win game, you'd look at that team, he doesn't start.
No.
If everyone's fit. And then you look at the bench, and he's probably third sub, realistically.
That's because Pep likes to bring on Savinho first, which is a bit of a joke. He'd be my first sub to impact the game. But I don't think in Pep's order at the minute he's not. But yeah, like you're right though. Like if I'm going into that final game of the season, my like that midfield / attacking line is going to be Semenyo, Shirky, Doku, Haaland.
Yeah.
Foden doesn't get a sniff.
Well, when they're like even signing players, like Shirky is, I'm not going to say a replacement for Foden.
Direct competition.
He is like that same ilk kind of player where can Shirky play as an attacking midfielder? Absolutely. Can he also shine on the wing? Absolutely. And right now, I mean, Shirky, I hate him. I hate him because he's at Man City, but he's such a good player right now. But like, Foden gets nowhere near that team for me either. It's like Shirky's miles better. And there's also numerous other names. There's even like Reinders, who now has appeared back, who was just completely out with the fold for a while, or at least not, getting the game time. And obviously there was a couple of reasons for that and some knocks, but there's another one that's just spawned back into the City team.
Yeah, I think we get to this point in this season and Pep just picks his 11 and he's like, all right, you've got the first half of the season to prove yourself. Second half of the season, we're going very serious. Like, we're taking it seriously. You've got a league title to win. If you perform and you stay in the team. Foden doesn't make that. I don't think Reinders does at this point. Like, he had a good start to the season. But at this point, that midfield two of Bernardo and Rodri, I don't see changing unless any of them get injured. Like, I
think Rodri's a bit hit and miss at the minute. Anyway, he keeps getting like little tiny knocks that are just not making him complete 90.
I trust Nico 100% to come in, Spanish Nico, to come in and just replace Rodri. Like, I think he's a brilliant player. I can't believe he's not played more minutes this season.
I guess we kind of end this part then with some FA Cup final predictions. I think I'll just go first. I think City dominate the game, but like I said earlier, I don't think they run away with it. I think it's like a 1 or a 2-0, and it's a pretty boring final, to be honest. But I know Chelsea are capable of just getting that odd result, but I think the City team, they'll win it. 2-0 is what I'm going to go for.
I do think with the way the fixtures are going, it'll depend on how we're positioned in the league. Or it's like if we've dropped a couple of points and like the league's no longer winnable, obviously it's strongest 11. But if we're still in the title race, we're going to be in a position where we're resting players for the FA Cup final.
I don't think that's happening at all. The only difference between your first team squad is Trafford will be in the net. There's no way Pep risks not winning that trophy.
Yeah, maybe Stones or Diaz if he's fit plays at centre half instead of Kusanov or Gabe.
Yeah, your attack's still the same. It's Haaland, Semenyo, and all them what. So.
Well, speaking of Stones, about 5 minutes before we started recording, City announced he's leaving at the end of the season.
Oh, I didn't know that. Breaking news.
10 years, yeah, he's off. Which I kind of saw coming. Like he's not.
Before we do that bit, Rich, your prediction for the FA Cup final, then we'll get on to Stones.
Yeah, I actually, I think Chelsea win. I think this is Chelsea's only way to get European football because I don't think they're going to finish in that top 8, and I think they have to have some sort of European football to help offset some of that money that's been racked up. I know City, that domestic treble is there, but I think it means more, and Chelsea need to win that football match.
Yeah, I don't think it's one we're necessarily. Like, if we don't win that, it's not the end of the world.
The trophy you not won. Chelsea need to win that football match.
Yeah.
So I think Chelsea. Yeah, I think Chelsea will win it.
Yeah.
Are you sticking with? You haven't given a numbered prediction, Dan. I presume you're back in City though.
Yeah, I'd like to think we would win. I think play it safe, go over. You know what? Probably 1-0. Honestly,
I think it's going to be tame. I think it'll be
It'll be
be similar to the Chelsea Leeds game, where there'll be a couple of chances here and there, but it's really, really tame.
Yeah, go 1-0. Yeah, I think like you said, the back line will be a little bit rotated, but most of the 11 should be similar.
I know it's not on the topics of interest, but obviously with I'm going to throw one in there. John Stones leaving Man City. Fantastic servant to the club, to the Premier League. Whether or not he stays in the Premier League or he goes elsewhere, do you think he's a top? Where would you put him? Top 15, top 20 centre back, top 25, top 30?
Are we talking for City here or Premier League?
Premier League.
I'm not even close. No. Oh, this is a short form list. How many centre backs can I name better than John Stones? We'll probably name 20 active ones.
We'll save that. We'll do that after.
That is absolutely some content right there, Rich.
I think he's right up there.
No.
Barnsley bias aside. Well, I think he's right up there.
I think a fully fit John Stone. The issue is it has to be a fully fit John Stones, whereas that just doesn't happen very often. Like, if he was fully fit throughout his entire career, yeah, you're talking about him in that minimum top 10.
I don't think you can go off that though.
But
because it's that if my aunt had balls, I should be an uncle.
Prime Ledley King.
Yeah,
like if we're saying that,
Prime John Stones is
Prime John Stones.
Prime John Stones is better than Prime Ledley King. Like 100%.
I also have this.
I think he goes to Everton for a couple of years, and then goes to Barnsley for the back end of his career.
I would love him at Barnsley.
I think that's exactly what happens. He'll go to Everton for a year or two. Injure himself. Yeah, injures himself. He can't play for Everton anymore. Barnsley back in League 1, League 2. All right,
come on.
Who knows? And then he'll go to Barnsley and retire. I think that's exactly what happens.
He don't come across as the kind of player to me that's going to go abroad.
No.
I'd be very surprised if fair play if he does. I just kind of don't see it.
I just can't imagine him like in any. Like,
I'm trying to think like what team would he suit. He don't really have any pace.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking
maybe Aston Villa, the way they play out of the back, they play through the thirds. I could maybe see him there, but he's probably going to be demanding quite high wages still.
I was kind of thinking if he does go abroad, I'm kind of thinking Spain suits him the best. Very good on the ball. Like,
Real Madrid need centre backs, but I don't think they're going for a John Stones.
Yeah, I was going to suggest Barca, but I don't know.
No. I could see him at like Valencia or somewhere like that.
I don't think he'd drop. I think if he's going to another team, he's going to a team that he thinks are going to challenge.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be Barca or Madrid, and I don't think
on his day, he is still very good.
I'd go Aston Villa. I see him. That's where I'm gonna punt.
Yeah,
because if he's settled in the north of the country, he's got. I'm not sure what his family situation is, but they're all questions that he probably needs to ask as well.
Yeah. I think Everton go.
Yeah.
Back with Grealish. Back to 10 years after leaving him. Got a nice new stadium to go back to now.
I would agree with Everton, but I'll throw out a wild card of a team from Saudi as well. Ivan Toney's over there.
Oh, he's made enough money with City though.
All these guys have. In reality, all of them have made enough money.
Ronaldo's made enough money.
But when is enough for these guys? Yeah. Like if they'd made enough, they'd play for less, wouldn't they, on the next contract? Yeah. But they don't. So you know what?
You don't want him at Arsenal. Sign another one of our subs.
The one thing where we actually do have a lot of good is centre backs. we could do with some more attacking options if any of them are going through.
He's only 31. He's only 31. It feels like he's older because I think
it's because he's been around forever.
He came into the Premier League so early.
He broke into Everton so early. Will he sign with us at 21, 22? Yeah.
I think Everton makes sense anyway.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't want to spend too long talking about John Stones, as much as I do love him.
All day.
Yeah. But I think when he came to us, he made a few mistakes in those first couple of games. Looked a bit because so focused on getting him into that ball playing position. And for the next 5 or 6 years, he didn't really get the respect he deserved because people were like, oh, he's still got a mistake in him. It's like, no, we had a mistake in him for the first 2 months. And it's the same with Kusanov. He made that mistake against Chelsea, and people are still saying he's mistake prone and can't be trusted at the back. But that's I can talk Kusanov and Stones all day. But we'll get on to Arsenal.
Speaking of centre backs,
yeah, it was top of the Premier League again.
Yeah, I mean, I hate this narrative of like, oh, Arsenal are backed off. It's like, yeah, we are in the actual table, but this whole game in hand thing, and we kind of spoke about it like a few weeks ago when there was the whole, oh, Arsenal are 9 points ahead. It's like they were actually never 9 points ahead if we're talking about actual game in hand and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say here. I'm still very, very nervous. Every single game feels like it is a cup final now, which I hate that cliche. We spoke about it last week about every game is being built up to be a cup final, and it kind of is, but I don't want it to be, and it's horrible right now. You can tell the players are nervous too. Every single game that goes by, they look like they've crapped themselves. There's clearly some players are getting leggy now as well. You can see their legs. Like Declan Rice, I love him so much. Yeah. I can tell he's knackered because he's done so much running this year. He's so good, but I think we're going to ban him out.
Even after the game, like the players just looked so exhausted. Like half the players on the floor after full time.
Yeah, it wasn't like a celebration win. It was like a relief win.
Yeah,
which to be fair, I mean, circumstances aside, like I mentioned at the start, Newcastle in the past few years have become a bit of a, I don't want to call them a burger team because our record's got better recently, but it's always a tough game because for whatever reason, and I know he didn't play this weekend, but a couple of them did, Bruno, Joelinton, these kind of players who were physical, and to be honest, they're arsehole players.
Just dominate.
You don't want to play against them because they're just going to kick you. Like, they're quite old school, especially Joelinton. You're going up against Joelinton, there's going to be at least 3 fouls from Joelinton nearly every game. Like, and Arsenal have never really, especially in previous years, especially the Wenger time, physically has always been a problem for us. Newcastle is such a Newcastle fans are going to hate this. I'm going to call them a modern day Stoke. And to be fair, I think they'll probably agree that's how they're playing lately, especially because they want Eddie Howe out. But it's always been a physical game against Newcastle lately, so I think the win's better than it looks. But it was a really bad performance again. We just don't look great. And in the end, it was a good goal that actually undid them. And last bit I'll say before I hand this back over to you guys. Did either of you watch it live to hear the commentary from Gary Neville?
No.
I was flicking back and forth.
Okay, so I think it was the third corner of the game we scored from, but we had 2 prior to that where we'd played it short. And Gary Neville, as soon as they played the third one short, he was like, what are they doing? They're going short again. And even the fans in the stadium are groaning. Ball gets played into Eze, who then just whips it into the far side of the net. And then just silence. It was great.
Eze looks, when I watch Arsenal, he looks the only player, and it might be because he won an FA Cup last season, and he's probably the recent player in that team with some silverware. He looks unfazed by what's happening. He looks like he's still continuing to play just his game, and maybe that's just him as a person. He don't care. He's just playing football. He will win Arsenal the Premier League. If Arsenal win the Premier League, I think it will be through him.
Well, it will if he stays fit.
Yes.
Or he can if he stays fit. I think one of the things you've got there with Eze is you've also, and this is going to sound a bit weird and a bit backwards, you've got a player in him right now who currently hasn't had his play style affected too much by the coaching. There's like certain players, right, who, and this is Pep as well, and Dan will know exactly where I'm going here. Arteta and Pep are very similar in how they hammer into players. We are a system. If you do not play my system, you do not play. Dan will know this because of Pep Roulette and stuff. If you do not play a system, you are not in the team. Eze isn't a system player. He is a free spirit, let's call it. I'm sorry, I sound like I'm Rory Jennings here. But you know what I mean? Like, you let him play free, and that's when he's at his best. If you put him in the system and lock him into how Arteta wants him to play, just passing and keeping the ball, same as Pep would want, you're not going to see the best of Eze. Because where he's best is when he's running with the ball and shooting. And he has scored some insane goals he's been at Arsenal a few months. He's got 3 or 4 goals a season contenders already, because that's what he can do if he's let to go free. And sometimes, like when big clubs sign players like that, it doesn't work out because the system or the tactics just get drilled into them so much that you don't see their best attributes. But I agree, like Ez is the kind of player that can win, is it now, as long as he's allowed to do his thing and just be that free roaming cam that he's gonna shoot and he's gonna give away a goal kick and we're gonna lose possession. But on some of those occasions, that ball's hitting the back of the net and he's scored another wonder goal.
That's kind of what I noticed in the city when we played each other a couple of weeks ago. Eze was the one that I was like, he's the one creating the chances here. Like, we can't be letting him on the ball. And when we did, he hit the post. Everything seemed, all of your attacks just seemed to be coming down that side he was on and like through the middle when he had the ball. And I think he was one of the first players to get subbed off. And when he got subbed off, I was kind of like, I feel a bit safer now. I was like, well, are you bringing on Martinelli? Yeah, go for it.
Martinelli is another one that gets hammered so much, and it's because of his output's just not there. I think he's got 1 Premier League goal this year, which is really bad.
He's got 15 in the Champions League, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's always scoring in the Champions League.
He's a UCL player.
Yeah.
He put in a really nice cross that Havertz should have scored in the last minute. But aside from that, I didn't see him do anything in that game.
He's another one that's like become, because he's been at Arsenal so long.
He became so young
he's
as well,
a system player. Yeah. He's a good player, but I feel like the system just really doesn't. But he's ultimately a guy that needs to sprint. He needs someone to ping through. He needs old school FIFA, right? He needs someone pinging over the top through balls or through balls for him to chase him behind. That is not how Arsenal play. It's not how City play. It's how none of these top teams play anymore. It's possession football.
Arsenal's next 3 games are the big 3 for me. You've got, just in all competitions, because you've got the 3 games in basically 6 days, 3 games in 7 days with, as of recording, Atletico Madrid tomorrow. You've then got Saturday, and then I think it's Tuesday, Atletico Madrid again.
Yep.
So you play. It feels like you're going to have to. As you mentioned, Rice. Rice can't be expected to play all 3 of those games, 90 minutes each game, because I think people will just burn completely out in that back end of the season. Yep. Do you think the supporting cast is strong enough? If, for example, say, do you rest in the Premier League or do you rest that Champions League tie? Or do you just expect them to just go through?
I mean, my opinion versus what I think Arteta is going to do is 2 different things. And I think Rice will start every single game because, I mean, of course, I'm really hoping he doesn't pick up anything in these games. But as long as he stays, quote-unquote, fit, he'll start every game. I think it'll be a case of how do you manage his minutes, though? Like, is he needed in this game? I think if you can get a win away at Atleti, then that really, really helps the situation out a lot. But it's a nightmare place to go. And again, back to the comments earlier about Arsenal hate playing physical opponents. They are literally the most physical team in the world. And
they'll also be looking at Arsenal and thinking, we would rather play Arsenal than a couple of other teams probably. We'd rather be on this side of the draw than Bayern or PSG. There's a chat. I think they even came out and they said you're allowed to rest every player, prioritise the Champions League.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
they did that in the last round. Yeah, they played their entire second 11 for the league game previous because they're not going to win the league. No. They've probably got Champions League.
There's a real chance they could win this Champions League.
Yeah.
In a one-off game.
Yeah.
They're a side that can beat anyone. So, this next week feels quite pivotal for Arsenal for me. I think it could be. If you get 2 bad results out of the next 3, it could end up being a little bit of turmoil if Fulham doesn't go your way and then Atletico get a result against you. It could be a stressful back end.
Yeah. Ideally for me, you get maybe a draw or Fulham beat you at the weekend. Atletico take you to extra time in the second leg, really drain you out, and then knock you out on penalties.
Well, I don't think that matters though. If we lose to Fulham, the league's over.
Yeah, it is. Arsenal cannot lose a game now.
I don't think we win all. I don't think we win all of our games though.
That's because you're a City fan though.
I think both of us drop points. No, there's not a chance we win every single one of our games.
Not now. You don't have Champions League, so you've got a full week for every single game. There is no way City drop points again.
We've got a tough run of fixtures though.
You don't. They're miles easier, a much easier run. Arsenal's now game against West Ham is also really big as well because it's away at West Ham, and that's going to be. That might be the game that saves them or not. Like, that's going to be a really tough game now.
Tottenham were down by that point anyway.
I hope so. But now, every game now is terrifying. I don't know what's going on with our medical staff. Every game's an injury now. Like, Eza took a knock. Hopefully he's fine. He said he's fine. Kai needs to be sold. If this is another big injury, he's got to go. I actually really like him, but he's got to go if this is a big injury.
I quite like Havertz. I think he's a really good player. I didn't realize his injury record was like this bad.
So bad. I think he's our highest wage earner as well because we got him on a free. So it's like instead of a big signing bonus, he actually got like big wages instead.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's on like 370 a week, which is a lot.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, that's crazy amounts.
It's like, he's a good player, but not near 400.
Just for anyone listening, like, I'm not saying that's definitely the number, but I'm pretty sure that's about right.
It wouldn't surprise, like you said, especially if you got him on a free. I'd imagine similar to that. Like, if you had to prioritize one, are you prioritizing Premier League or Champions League at this point?
I don't know. If we had a bit of a buffer in the Premier League, like, ultimately, if I pick one to win right now, probably want the Premier League. Even it's weird because I haven't seen us win the Champions League, and obviously I want to see that in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah. But the Premier League is the one that every English team should want as like the first thing. Like, you win the Premier League, you're the best team in the country and the best league in the world.
And like, ultimately, that's what. As great as winning the Champions League would be, the Premier League is what you've been chasing for the last 4 years since Arteta has been.
You built your whole squad for the Premier League Champions League bonus. So I would want the Premier League, but like the situation we're in, I'm also a bit less inclined to be hard on that because I think we've already blown the Premier League. But if we had that 3-point buffer, I'd probably say Premier League. But since we don't, I'm going to say Champions League. Yeah. But
I think it's just a straight shootout. Whoever can score the most goals in these last 5 games.
That's not a shootout, though, is it? Like, factually, Manchester City will probably score double the amount of goals Arsenal do in these last 5 games. I would take that bet right now.
We went away to Burnley and won 1-0. They've not won a game for like however long.
I'll tell you what, Burnley were very good though in that game.
Yeah, they were. And I don't know why they suddenly decided that was the game to turn up. It was like, are you going down? Oh, it's not confirmed relegation yet. We should really put a fight up. And I was like, well, yeah,
Derby. Northwest Derby.
The James Trafford Derby. And I was like, yeah, it was like, it wasn't as if you're going to beat us, you're going to stay up. I was like, no, you're 15 points off.
If it helps, we've still got to play them.
Well, they're already down. It doesn't matter. You're going to put 5 past them. And you're at home as well. You playing them at home or you're away?
No, we're home for that one. It's the
game. That's a 5-0.
Yeah. The one, as I mentioned, the one that I'm worried about is West Ham away now. It's a few days after the second leg as well, so we could be burnt out from that. And West Ham right now,
really good run form.
Yeah,
they're probably the maybe second or third best team since the new year in terms of form in the Premier League. So, I mean, when you speak of relegation, it feels like we have to talk about Tottenham Hotspur.
Talk about Tottenham every week. I mean, they finally won a game, and it didn't mean anything ultimately.
Well, big confidence boost.
Yeah.
First win of the new year.
It's only taken them
crazy to say. 5 months. I think the big takeaway from it really was the injury, as well to Xavi Simons. When you actually look at the big picture, because he was starting to put things together.
He looked like if they were going to get out of this, he's the guy that everything's going through. But yeah, they've now had this season. They've had more ACL injuries than home wins in the Premier League.
I don't know if you've seen the theory. I don't know if you've seen this. Apparently, and I'm actually starting to buy it a little bit. So if you look at Tottenham Hotspur and also Real Madrid, who have had a lot of knee injuries, ACLs, etc., there's a theory that the retractable pitch at the new stadiums is harsher on players' feet and whatnot, and body, and that it's more susceptible to injuries. Spurs, Real Madrid, and there was an NFL team as well that I can't recall the name of right now, and they basically got a very new pitch recently, and they had like 2 or 3 ACLs in the same period of time. I don't believe it, but then when you actually look at the stats, it is crazy how uncommon an injury it is and how common Spurs have had that injury.
Yeah, I think. Well, I saw a few people talking about it on Twitter, and one of the arguments was like, "Oh yeah, but the Xavi Simons one happened away." I was like, "Yeah, but it's a build up of like, it's a build up. It's not just the one. It's not just his knee snaps and that's it. Like it builds up over time." And I think like I don't know if there's too much in it. I'm not a doctor.
Not a physio.
No.
I'll just jump in just with a quick one. So for pulling back the curtain a little bit, I've obviously worked in rugby league for quite a few years and quite close with like the team, and don't know how much I can really say here, but that the rugby team that I work with and support, they actually train on a 4G surface and then play on a grass pitch, and they've also trained on grass, and like they go between grass and 4G. And what's becoming a problem, it's not playing on these services continuously, it's switching between them that causes the issues. So like I would subscribe to what Richard said there, whereas it's not a case of it's just a retractable pitch, it's a case of that pitch is a different surface to their training field, and it'll be a different surface. And it's one of the things like, oh, they're playing on grass, it doesn't matter. It's like, well, it sounds weird, but that spring in the grass and the dirt and all that mixture, it will be different. And I know I ain't got the expertise to fully describe the mechanics of it, but it clearly is having an issue in multiple sports. So I could see that being like, a viable theory.
Yeah, I think like I said, like the amount of pressure that they kind of put and the amount of work they do on these pitches, and like, yeah, you might not think just looking at it, they're both grass pitches, they're the same. It's like, I did not. There is very little difference, but that makes the difference at like such an elite level.
Seeing Lincoln City playing in that stadium next season is going to be unbelievable.
It's another reason why it'd be, again, like a few weeks ago on the pod, I was kind of like, oh, I don't want them to go down because the North London Derby goes, stuff like that. But like every week that goes by and it gets closer, I'm kind of like,
so funny.
Do you know how interesting this would be? And I'm not going to go into it because I've said it on every show so far. But I'm really interested to see what happens with the squad. Yeah. Just everyone's going to leave, or most. But then, as you say, seeing all these, no disrespect, perceived small teams who like normally are just used to playing against, like with a fan base or a stadium that can only hold 5, 10, 15, 20 tops. Maybe 30 when you play against like the Leeds and stuff, but like they've never played in like a stadium like this. Teams are going to turn up thinking they're at Wembley. This is our cup final. What a stadium. They're going to rock up like that. It's going to be so amazing to see. And on the flip side, also going to be pretty funny to see Tottenham play at some other stadiums too.
Oh.
I think it was Lincoln. Did they get promoted this weekend?
Yeah, they won the league with 100 points.
They're the ones doing the chant, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were on the pitch and the players were chanting Spurs away.
Yeah.
And in League One, I'm talking about League One because obviously Spurs are going to come down, League One's going to go up. The Championship teams, a lot of them have played at big grounds before, they know what to expect, etc. League One, you've got Cardiff City, who have finished second, automatics. You've then got Bolton, Stockport, Bradford City, and Stevenage, who are in the playoff run.
Stockport going up would be great.
Luton Town are right up there as well, and Plymouth potentially can nip that last spot as well for sixth to go up in the playoffs. One of those sides is a good chance of going to the 65,000 seater Spurs and playing in front of probably 12,000 fans.
It's going to be a spectacle just to watch them.
Well, I also think Tottenham playing away at some of these grounds. Like I've been to Stockport. They've only got like their away stand doesn't
7,000 probably max.
Yeah, their away stand is just the back of like behind the goal. There's no roof on that. There's about 10 rows of seats all across the back. I was like, yeah, I'd be interested to see. Yeah, like you said, not only these smaller, like no disrespect, smaller teams playing at Tottenham, but Tottenham going away to play these League One size stadiums. That can't be good for the knee injuries.
That's going to be a rude awakening for some of them players who are used to like Premier League life as well.
Yeah.
With obviously all the relegation, the big result of the weekend really, in terms of scoreline, was Forest.
Yeah.
What a win. Does that put them safe? Or with West Ham winning and Spurs winning, are they still back in it?
I still think it's West Ham Spurs. Yeah. It's one of them. I I never thought Forest were going to get dragged into it. I think there's a couple of players in there who were just too good to drag them out, and we kind of saw that with like Gibbs White, especially lately. I think
Elliot Anderson.
There's two players in there who are definitely not at Forest next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we all know Elliot Anderson's probably going to be a Man City player. Which, by the way, not that he's going to watch this. You're about to ruin your career. Did you not see what happened to Calvin Phillips? This is a terrible, terrible career move if you want to play football.
I think Igor Jesus as well might move somewhere. The big striker that they've got.
I don't know if it's just me. I've never been that impressed by him when I've watched Forest. Maybe I've just not watched the right games, but he's never.
Were you on about the striker here, or
yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, he just never really jumped at me. I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy that's doing well for Forest.
He seems like the sort of person that Igor Thiago would leave Brentford and Jesus would go in and he'll score 15 goals.
Igor Thiago is the sort of guy that United are going to think he scored 20 odd goals this year. Not that he's a striker, but someone like United will buy him, he'll flop. And
Not that 14 have come from the penalty spot.
Yeah.
Or however many it is.
And he only turns up when no one's watching.
Well,
Man United 3 p.m. kickoff Igor Thiago. He's a different player to Monday Night Football Igor Thiago.
Man United love stat padding players. That's why they love Bruno so much.
Yeah. I didn't watch the game last night, but apparently for the assist, he was like, it was a chance that he could have scored, and he's thought, I'm going to set this up so I can get close to the record.
I'm more annoyed he didn't pass it to Mbeumo because
Mbeumo should have got the ball. Mbeumo should have got the ball.
Do you know what the worst part was? My bet was Man United win, Mbeumo goal, Bruno assist, and he passed it the other way.
You know that Bruno realised he should have passed it to Mbeumo when as soon as the ball hit the back of the net and Sesko scored, Bruno did this to Mbeumo. Sorry, I should have, apologies. I should have gone to you. I went there instead.
I don't think that matters if the player actually scores. It's one of them where it's like, if you've passed it and they've missed, and you're like...
Oh, he was so in, though. He was so in.
I think that's the kind of pass, and this will sound weird to anyone else, that's the kind of pass that would really annoy someone like Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Coach that be like, no, you've done the low percentage player there. You do the high percentage player.
Not to get... I know we've already spoken about City this weekend, but that's what it felt like we were doing this weekend. And our goals came from the low percentage players that were like, all right, you've just got to go for it now, instead of trying to pass through 11 players. And I guess that's what you get when ultimately it might cost you in some games, but long term, that is the best play and the best approach.
Some other stuff from the weekend. Coventry City obviously had a pretty good weekend.
Yep.
Really good chant that's come out from them as well. Don't know if you guys have seen it. Rich is smiling, so he knows what I'm going to say because it was Arsenal and Tottenham related. Not going to sing it, but I'll tell you the lyrics. So basically, we're going Arsenal, you're going Spurs. So that's
I do appreciate that. No matter the level, every single team in this country is getting on Spurs. Yeah.
It is so funny, and that's why in a way it'll be a bit sad if they don't go down now. It's so enjoyable.
Yeah. If they go down, at least we get this for another year. Whereas if they stay up, it's like it was fun.
It's such a good story because this might never happen again in our lifetime. Yeah. In this money era, this shouldn't be possible. One last football story then to kind of mention, just because it's now done. Leicester.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know where to go from this. I mean, Rich, you're obviously more of a follower of the EFL, so maybe get your thoughts here. But what a fall off.
When you look 10 years ago, they were winning the Premier League. And I think for those Leicester City fans, it's unbelievable to look back on. A good friend of mine actually was a coach at Leicester City sort of during that time, and he was like, there was no better place to be. Like, everything was buzzing. And obviously then they went on to win the FA Cup, I think 2 years later. Maybe 3 years later it might have been. With Rodgers, I think it was, who was the manager then. And you can't really put into perspective how big of a loss the tragedy with the owner was, and what happened there. And I think that now the people now who you're still seeing the impacts of that with the management above, which has been taking place. Leicester City have signed a lot of players on massive wages that they simply can't afford. They have been trying to claw back, and the upside of winning the Premier League is you've won the Premier League. That will forever be in your club's history. The downside is you're now chasing the imaginable dragon that simply isn't able to be caught. You're not a Manchester City. You're not a Liverpool. You're not an Arsenal. You don't have that finance. And you might even see it with Spurs if they try and chase hard and into that championship campaign, it doesn't go well. We've seen big teams. Leeds United were a massive club during the 90s and 2000s, and they fell into obscurity down in League One, and it took a while to get out of there. I think with Leicester City, you're seeing that mismanagement of finances and mismanagement of players, and they've fallen down. They've had fines, points deductions on points deductions. For Leicester City fans, I think they're just happy that it feel like they've got a little bit of resolution now. They're going into League One where it feels almost a little bit of a fresh start. The only thing I will say now, League One, it's not an easy division by any stretch of the imagination. It's a hard division. I mean, you've got teams who are coming down from the Championship. Sheffield Wednesday, Leicester City, massive, and I mean massive football clubs in the grand scheme of things with the fans that they have and the upside potential that they have. They've both been mismanaged horrifically. If they can turn it around, I think there's a world in which if Leicester City can keep hold of even a couple of those players and with the academy that they've got and the upside there, they could fly straight back up and they could win the league at a canter. However, nothing is easy down there. And I think you've seen it in recent memories. It very rarely does a team, even from the Premier League down to the Championship, fly straight back up. The last time I probably think I remember it, Newcastle United, when they got relegated from the Premier League down to the Championship and they went back up with over 100 points in the Championship. But for a lot of teams, it's hard. It's a hard division in the EFL. But yeah, Leicester City, really sad what's happening. I think for the fans of Leicester, you've had some unbelievable memories that, I mean, me as a Barnsley fan, I'm sure a lot of EFL fans, I would take that, go up, win a Premier League.
That was one thing I was going to ask you off the back of this. As someone who obviously supports a team, not a Premier League side, what would you... I guess footballing wise, what would you be willing to sacrifice to see your team do that in your lifetime? Because let's be honest, the chance of your team winning the Premier League in our lifetime is
getting into the Premier League.
Yeah.
The last time Barnsley were in the Premier League was 98.
Yeah, so you can say things like crazy, like if it meant that your team for the rest of your life would end up in the conference, right? But you saw them win the Premier League in the next 5 years, you'd take it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, not that that's going to make Leicester fans feel any better,
but I think even to win an FA Cup,
yeah,
just to have that, and Leicester City did both.
Yeah, they got a Community Shield in there. I know it's not a massive trophy, but it's still a trophy winning at Wembley. They got a Community Shield, beat us in the final.
But it also shows how ruthless and how quickly things can fall apart. And I think we're all laughing at Spurs, and I think a lot of football fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, just don't care. They just want to see Spurs crumble. They would happily see them in the Conference League North. But I like football as a whole. Obviously, I'm Barnsley, but I just like seeing the game of football.
Yeah,
Tottenham should be in the Premier League. Tottenham are a big club. They should be in the Premier League. They nearly won the Premier League. That season, Leicester won it. They finished second. They finished right up there. For Tottenham Hotspur to go down into the Championship, there's not a world in which they bounce straight back. Because they will throw money at it. They will try and keep that squad together. And if they can't, they will try and sign the best Championship players to go back up. It might not go to plan for them. They might struggle down there.
If you don't get it at the first attempt, then that's when you've got a problem.
Because then the parachute payments disappear. You've got to pay some of that back. The fans then become disinterested. Just look at the teams down there. As I said before, massive football clubs that are just meandering in the Championship. Blackburn Rovers won the Premier League. They went down and never came back up.
There's also this for Leicester as well. There's also a fact of, okay, they've dropped down 2 divisions now. Now the finances that are already, like, as far as we're aware, the finances don't look good. We don't know the specifics, of course, but they evidently are not good. They're going to be worse now. They've also got a squad full of players who they're paying stupid money to. Fair enough, they've offloaded a few of them. Now they're all going to go. And there's also the fact that not only are they going to have to try and sell them, but they're not going to get premium rates anymore because all these players are now forcing moves. That squad's not going to stick around in that league. And this is where things go bad to worse for a team like that, because if the owners aren't putting the money in and the sales from the players aren't coming in, then you might actually just become a League One team.
Yeah. And I think if you look at, this is probably the last thing on this, but it is a massive talking point because it shows that it can happen to any football club. Like, I think that's the big thing. They won the Premier League 10 years ago. If you look who else is coming down, Oxford United, they are a League One team. Sorry, Oxford. I don't think you are a Championship team. Leicester City and then Sheffield Wednesday. If Sheffield Wednesday could turn it around and get their finances in the right position, I could see them flying straight back up. The other teams down there in League One, there is competition. And, like I said, Leicester could go and win it with 110 points. They could also struggle and find themselves in a bit of trouble.
I think the thing is, like, as much as you can say, like, oh, they're not going to get the money for these players, like, a lot of these players are on high wages who have to go anyway.
Yeah.
You then have to rebuild an entire squad, essentially. You have to get that to gel and play well together if you want to get back up at the first time of asking. And like I said, if you don't, they're probably stuck down there for a while.
The last thing on Leicester, I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie Vardy, if he wants one more season, comes back and tries helping them get out of League One.
Yeah.
He'll probably do it on a fraction of a wage. You could probably bring him in maybe as a coach player. And I could see that. I think he's still at Cremons, is it?
Yeah.
He's played a decent amount of games for them, but I could see that happening over the summer. And him trying to go in there and help it and turn it around, even if it's just to help get fans in the stadium and help push a little bit of finances in there.
Yeah, he's played 25 games in Serie A this season for Cremonese.
That's decent for someone his age.
Yeah. What is he, 38, 39?
I think so, yeah.
Just the last thing from me then on that. I was looking through Leicester's squad while we were having this chat. Looking at squad player values and like who's actually playing for them. They have so many players that are not theirs in their squad.
A lot of loans.
Lot of loans.
Yep.
And I didn't realise you could actually have this many loans because I know the rules in the Premier League can only have so many. They've got a lot of loans. Their squad is terrible. I actually do not think they come back up at all unless some money gets injected, because even the players they own, anyone of any value is old. They're not going to get these numbers that I'm seeing, which are obviously estimates anyway. Like the average squad at age, I can't do the math, but it must be pretty old when you take out all the loans.
So the only player of value I can imagine in Leicester's squad is Fatawu, the winger. But again, I don't know if he's their player or he's on loan. I'm not sure.
I can't even see him on this list.
Maybe he must be on loan.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. Interesting to see what happens next season, and I'll be intrigued to see what the odds are at the start of the season for Leicester to go straight back up.
We'll round off. We'll go further down the leagues, and we'll round off with the National League, arguably one of the most exciting leagues, or especially the top of the table this season, with just one team coming up and two teams going into the final game on 100 plus points. Winner takes all. I think Rochdale were on 105, I believe it was.
I think it was 100.
They're on 105. York were on 107.
Yeah,
they were playing each other. Rochdale win, they go up. York draw or win, they go up. You get to 100. You get to the 95th minute. Rochdale go 1-0 up. Not fifth of sixth minute of added time. Rochdale go 1-0 up. You're thinking that's it. Everyone's on the pitch. oh, that means we've got to play 10 more added minutes. And then York go and score. And
I hope the fans on the pitch
kill the party.
Realise what they're the reason for this.
Yeah. Well, there was a clip straight after York scored. The Rochdale manager thought that it was full time, and he's on the pitch celebrating. And then once he realised that the rest of the York bench is on the pitch, then you can kind of see the moment he kind of clicks and was like, "Oh, it's."
We had this though with was it Wrexham Notts County?
Yeah, last season.
3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe. Where it came down to that Ben Foster save, pretty much last game of the season. There's so much riding on finishing first because you go into that playoff sort of playoff campaign. Then you're going into a game where everyone else has already played a match. They've got confidence. They're feeling good. Yeah. You're going in, and it is a tough ask.
They've got to pick themselves up after the back of oh, you got 105 points, but it wasn't good enough. Now
I think York deserved to go up. York deserved to win it. They finished last season with 96 points. So they were right up there last season. They finished second. This season, they've scored comfortably. They scored so many more goals. I think they scored like 120 goals in the league. They played really, really well. And not saying Rochdale didn't, but I think York deserved to win it over the course of the season.
114 goals they scored. Yeah, they got
a joke.
They've got a plus 73 goal difference. They've both conceded the same in Rochdale. I say only scored 88. Like in comparison, like that's not actually that high for a 46 game season. But yeah, it's
unbelievable scenes, and that's what football's all about, really.
Yeah, I think the major talking point on that is like, should more than one team be going up automatically at that level? I know a lot of I think
you can't change it based on a moment, can you?
Well, no, but both clubs came out with a statement, didn't they, before the game, and they're like, whatever happens, like we're going to be pushing for 2 to come up automatically because it's not a semi-pro league anymore. It's essentially
3 have to leave League 2.
Yeah,
and then League 2's not going to be very happy.
Yeah,
so.
And like you will have some seasons where one team just runs away with it, and it's not that close.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, then there is one more thing that I do want to mention. Another viral clip that went around. You're laughing. Do you know what I'm gonna bring up now? No. Okay, you've definitely seen it then. The real Zaragoza goalkeeper. Red card, just gone and just haymakered someone or super punched them.
We got Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury early.
Like I don't have too much comment on it. I just thought it's worth a mention, just given what's happened the past week. Seen some crazy stuff in football the past week, and I think that kind of topped it all.
Like, I think if you know you're getting sent off, the only people will say no. If you know you're getting sent off, you might as well do whatever. It's like, no, they're just going to extend his ban for longer.
Yeah, do you want to go to prison for a
that's essentially what it was.
Our next prediction is now, how long is he going to be suspended for? Because like the season's about to end. There's a chance he just gets a season ban now. You've literally assaulted someone on a pitch, rightly or wrongly. You've just gone and punched someone in the face.
So you do that. You do that in the street. You go into prison.
Yeah.
What did
because he's got goalkeeper gloves on? He's perfectly fine.
It's just ludicrous. Like he'll probably maybe 10 games, maybe 15 games.
I think there's a chance he gets a season ban.
But I wouldn't be opposed to him. Yeah, the club really should just say that's just unacceptable. Terminate contract. See ya.
I guess. I mean, if he knew he was leaving at the end of the season, going to a different league.
Yeah, but even then, like it might be a case. It might be a case of like at that point, some kind of federation steps in. Like, no, this is like this is a FIFA ban or something.
So he's
only someone.
He's actually only on loan, and he's going back to Mexico at the end of the season. So maybe he just kind of thought, all right, the league can ban me for however long I want.
Good luck to pick up a new sport.
That's just brain explosion. But pretty fun week in football. There's not being short of talking points, which is nice. So
you're a bit happier this week.
Yeah, let's see how I'm feeling next week. There'll be 2 games to discuss. So busy.
Yeah, well, that's about everything for this week. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the FBFC podcast, and we'll see you next week.